Good afternoon. It is the 2nd of January 2025. Wishing you all a happy new year and a prosperous 2025. And I'm going to be doing a lot of reviews of both football and rugby, two of my favorite sports. And watching me today is Mr. Sam Golla, the Rookie of the Year from the Major League Rugby's now defunct Dallas Jackals, and rocking today, wearing my Texas rugby referee jersey. I used to referee, and I love collecting jerseys, so it's just something that I do, and it's something I'm going to be sharing through my journey of reviewing sports going forward. So we're going to kick this off with the first game of the year in the English Premier League, and that was Arsenal traveling away to Brentford, and they got a result, and we're going to have a chat about it. So let's go ahead and just take a quick look at the results of the game. Kickoff was relatively early in the evening, and so they didn't have to play late into the night. And the game started with uh, Brentford kind of just soaking up the pressure, Arsenal playing their usual possession football, and then Martin Odegaard gets dispossessed off the ball rather easily by Mikael Damsgaard. He takes two touches and then he releases Brandon Bomo. Buemo pushes it up to the box. Calafiori doesn't challenge him and he doesn't challenge his space. Buemo pulls it back onto his strong left foot and then he whacks that ball into the lower corner. Raya caught out of position and Brentford go 1-0 up. At that point, it's looking like trouble because Brentford are a side that can play the ball without possession, play a whole game without possession, will hit you on two or three counterattacks. And so everything was going to plan for them. At that point, Arsenal were looking pretty good up until about maybe the 12th minute or so, and then Brentford kind of just seemed to grow into the game. I think the goal struck us, and Arsenal kind of just went into their shells. And then they almost went 2-0 down after a shot kind of went through Raya's hands, and then he had a spectacular save off his line to keep it 1-0. And I think if we go down 2-0 at that point, it's big trouble. And then we would probably be looking at a very different result. But much like the Liverpool game where they finally broke down Leicester City before halftime, getting a goal before the half was really important to kind of just solidify the team, give them that confidence to chase the game in the second half. That goal comes around because of Thomas Partey taking a shot from outside the box, which is something that we don't see often with Arsenal nowadays. Everything is all tiki taka. We want to slide the ball in and we want to go ahead and kind of just ease it into the goal off a short pass or like a snap pass into the box. So Partey takes a shot, and then if you go back and watch the film, that's an exercise in patience and discipline by a proper number nine, a proper striker. So you see Jesus kind of watching it all unfold, Martinelli, Waneri. Then when Partey finally takes the shot, he isn't watching. He's not goal watching. The guy's been kind of watching his defender the whole time, staying onside. And then the second part he takes the shot, he shoots off towards the goalkeeper and gets a proper poacher's goal. Kind of just heads it over the goalie, and that goal is what saved the game for us. Now, keep in mind that up until that point, it had all been just passing, passing. I don't think we had a shot on goal. So Partey's shot was on goal. Then Jesus puts it away. As concerns the goal that we gave up, I'm just going to talk briefly about Calafiori as a defender and his positioning. He's gotten spun and done by a couple of players. He plays much higher up the field, and he doesn't have recovery pace. So I get the feeling that it's a bit of a gamble, and this is Mikel's strategy because he's playing him almost like a midfielder. He's playing him up the field and almost playing like with a back three. But I just get the bad feeling that if we're playing a quick team, a team with quick winners on the flank, they would actually just kind of take us to task. So I just wait and see what happened. But I think Miles Lewis Skelly is the one that's better suited to play that left back right now. And then Calafiori can come on towards the end of the game. The other thing I want to talk about is the slow transitions and the counterattack. 2 years ago, whenever Arsenal got the ball in their half, they were gone, off and running. It was pass to Partey, Partey to Xhaka, Xhaka to Martinelli, or whip the ball back across to Saka. And Saka is gone now, so our most potent creator and finisher is gone. So the team is going to have to find other ways of making this happen. Slow counterattacks, they're not going to get it done. So I'm hoping that Mikel figures that out. So after the goal, much better second half. We get a goal off a jammy corner, ricochet into Marino's path, and he puts it away. And then not long after, Martinelli gets a ball dropped to his feet, and he kind of just puts his foot through it. Nice little half volley into the right corner, and that was the game. Brighton never really threatened after that, and important win at Brentford because that's a tough place to go and get points. We walked away with all three, +2 in goal difference. Just keep the pressure on Liverpool. But and that's important because not saying that they're going to slip up, but it's important to just be there and hang around as long as it's possible. And if anything happens, you get the opportunity. There's going to be a game in May at Anfield, and I'd love for Arsenal to be in a position to at least make them sweat. But if not, so be it. Other than that, we're going to just talk about ratings. David Raya was a 6.5 for me. Terrible first goal, and then he almost led in a second. He was pretty solid after that. Urian Timber with a 7.5. Saliba and Gabriel also with 7.5 performances. Calafiori 5.5, 6. I gave him a 6. And then Partey was a 9 for me. He facilitated everything. He took the shot that created the first goal, and he was absolutely stellar defensively and going forward. Odegaard was a 4. I don't know if it's that he's tired because of the newborn, or he's still got that lingering injury and he's still trying to get his fitness back, but we don't have a replacement for him, and he's just going to have to play through it and get better. Jesus was a 9 for his goal and his movement and his activity across the board. Martinelli was a 7, and that's because of the goal. Marino was also a 7 for his goal. I'm not a huge fan of him. He's slow, he's plodding. He works in this methodical play. I think if we ever go back to a quicker game or quicker cadence, he's going to struggle in that. And then Waneri was a solid 8 for me. He took on his defenders, he created opportunities, and he was an absolute nuisance to play. Talking about the game that's coming up against Brighton, it's at their ground, so it's going to be a tough ask. And I think the question now is Urian Timber is suspended. So what does Mikel Arteta do? Is he going to sacrifice his best midfielder in Partey and play him at right back, which I think he'll probably end up doing, just move Rice into midfield. And I think maybe leave Calafiori out there, which I wouldn't do because Adingra, Minte, Joao Pedro, those are all very quick, mobile, agile players. I think Lewis Kelly is better suited, so I would like to see Lewis Kelly start on that side. And then inevitably it's going to be Partey on the other side. Saliba and Gabriel, then Declan Rice, Marino and Odegaard. Or I wouldn't even mind seeing Declan Rice with Odegaard and Waneri, and then have Trossard start on the right-hand side, Martinelli on the left, and then either Jesus or Havertz. And so whether Havertz comes back after his bug, another question altogether. Other than that, we're going to do a quick review of the games that are going to take place this weekend and our projected scores. We have 7 games on Saturday morning. So that's going to be lots of soccer for us fans here in the US. Early kickoff is Spurs at Newcastle. I expect the Newcastle should win that maybe 2-0 or 3-1. Aston Villa take on Leicester at home. I think they win that 3-0. Bournemouth host Everton. I'm going for a 2-1 Bournemouth win at home. Chelsea go to Crystal Palace. And Selhurst Park, I think Chelsea probably win that 3-0. Man City host West Ham. West Ham are not in good form. So I think City win that 3 or 4-0. Southampton lose to Brentford at home 2-1. And then Arsenal sneak it at Brighton, which is a tough place to go. The Amex Stadium, we're going to sneak a 2-1 win out there. Fulham beat Ipswich on Sunday. And then we have Liverpool playing Man United. And I'm expecting a 5-er. They're going to have 5 on it. I'm going to expect a 5-0 win to Liverpool in that game. And then we have Nottingham Forest traveling out to the Molineux on Monday. And I expect Forest to win that game, take all 3 points, and keep pace with Liverpool and Arsenal. That said, hope you had a great show. And I'll be looking to see you after the matches on Monday to do a full review. I'll do one quick review for Arsenal on Saturday, and then I will do a full review of the weekend on Monday, and we'll see how my predictions went. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and see you soon.